Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Monday afternoon. Well, actually, it's not. It's Friday. Um, Today I'm going to do a video because I wanted to talk about my mibi stress test. So I actually just got diagnosed with ischemia, heart disease. I am only 53 years old. I'm surprised I have it. The doctor's surprised I have it. Unfortunately, I do have Lyme disease, and I believe that that's a huge factor. It has, contributed to causing problems in my body. There is a blockage that has unfortunately killed a little bit of my heart muscle and tissues and cells that cannot be what's the word, like turned around, put back. It's permanent damage, and most of my heart is okay. We're trying to prevent further damage, and we believe it's a blockage, either let me get straight, blood clot, aneurysm, or artery plaque. So they wanted to do a mibi test on me, and they wanted to see when your heart is resting, and then you take pictures, and when your heart is not resting, and you're exercising, and if there's a difference with the blood flow, to see if there's some kind of blockage, what it is. So it is one of the hardest tests I have ever done. And I have done a lot of tests in 13 years with Lyme disease and every other thing that's come from Lyme disease. It is so tough. So, originally, okay, so let's just start. Originally, I went in and, I went to the imaging department, and I went and got my IV. Okay. That was not a big deal. And then they put a tracer in my arm so that it highlights like all your veins and your vasculars and everything. It takes a couple hours, like maybe an hour or so, to actually kick in. So during that time, I had to go to the cafeteria, and I had to eat these fatty snacks. Wasn't allowed caffeine at that time. So the fatty snacks, if I got this correct, they do something. The liver's very bright on the actual scans, and so the fatty liver compensates and dulls the liver so that you can see the veins more prominently. So you have to eat a lot of fatty foods. I had like 2 blueberry muffins. I am not used to going to the Richmond General Hospital at 5:45 in the morning, 6:45, and eating 2 big fatty muffins. Like, I don't eat like that in the morning. This is like gross. I was trying to eat it, and I was like, ugh, I was feeling sick, and I was like, oh my God, I gotta eat these. So I went for my first set of pictures. Oh my God. 20 minutes in the scan. I'm claustrophobic. I forgot my antihistamines. I have allergies to contrast dye. I went into anaphylactic shock at one point, but this is a different kind of dye. This is just a tracer. It doesn't affect me, which is great. But I didn't take my CBD because I have major anxiety, claustrophobia. I forgot it. And so when I went in the test, I just thought it was going to be like, because I had just had that test, like a VQ test, like just like a week or 2 ago, and it just like goes around you, and it only comes up to maybe like here or something like that, and goes around you, and I can handle that just. And so when I went in today, I was like, I can do this. It's not a problem. So she tells me, like, okay, we're going to do the scan, we're going to do the pictures. Of course, we got to get your heart. And so we're going to start with like just random pictures for like 20 minutes, whatever. And then the last 5 minutes is going to be, oh, my light just went out. The last 5 minutes is going to be with your head in it, in the machine, like going under. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, what do you mean my head? And then she's like, oh, your head's going to have to go like under the machine. Like if it usually comes to here, it's going to go. We're talking like, I think it was probably about here. Oh my God. I can't even talk about it. It gives me mad anxiety. Hold on. Got to fix my light. Okay. I have a faulty light, so I don't know, it might flicker a little bit. But anyway, so I go in and I do this and she's like, do you want to try it? And I was like, okay, sure, I'll try it. So we do the first 15 minutes. I'm tolerating it. You know, when you're claustrophobic, it's so scary. You're feeling sick from these muffins. I didn't get much sleep the night before. Forgot my anxiety meds. You know, didn't have my antihistamines. I was like, oh my God. And now it's 20 minutes in this thing. And then the last 5 minutes, she's like, oh, we're going to do like your head and this and that. It's going to go under. Okay, you're going to have like a lot of electric lighting here in this video. And so I was like, okay, we can try. She goes, well, do you want to try it? And I was like, well, yeah, I'll try it because this is like super important. I need this to know like where's the blockage, what it is. Like, you know, it's very dangerous just walking around like this, not knowing what it is. So she comes to me at the end of the, I guess, 15 minutes and she goes, okay, so now we're going to do the head. Okay, so now we're going to do the head. So I'm like, okay. And she's like, do you think you'll be okay? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I'll try. Like, I can try. And then she goes, okay, do you think you're going to be okay? And meanwhile, like tears are streaming down my face. And I'm like, yeah, I think so. And then she just kind of looks at me and goes, and then walks away because didn't know what to say or do. It was so funny, but not really. Not really. And so, oh my God. So the machine, you're there, and all of a sudden it slips forward. It goes, and it just slips you forward a bit. And you're edging under the machine, right? Oh my God. The trauma. The machine comes right down over your face. It's like right down over your head. And it's just staying there and staying there and staying there and staying there. And then it does rotate a little bit, but then it's like, again. And then you're going in, right? And there's these little flaps. Like, that's the scary. Every time I saw the flap go, it would come out. It would come out. And the machine would go, I was like, oh shit. There's the flap. There's the flap. I knew I was going in further and further and further. The only way that I got through that, I was like, there was this tiny little bit of hole at the bottom. When I'd look down at my feet, I could see the air outside. And I was like, just look at the bottom, just look at the bottom, just look at the bottom, just look at the bottom. Like, I was talking to myself through the entire test. I was like, okay. I was like, you know what? Think of my daughter. Think of me. Like, think of Tiana. Think of me. Think of Tiana. Think of me, you know? I was just like, look at the bottom, look at the bottom. You got this, you got this. You can do this, you can do this, you can do this. Like, you can breathe, you know, like, you're not going to die in here. You're not going to, like, oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, just talking about that, my phone just fell. Oh my God. The self-talk that I had to do to cope, to get through those frickin' 5 minutes was just unreal. When it was over, I was so glad that that was over. And then, so then I was like, okay, so now what do I do now? And she's like, oh, you go to cardiopulmonary department and, you know, they're going to give you some medications going to make your heart go and all this, right? So when I get out, okay, my face, okay, you can see this. This just came out. But like my face was so red and blotchy. My ears were like red. It went red all down my neck and like my whole face, and like I did not look normal at all. The stress and the anxiety was unbelievable. So I go down to cardiopulmonary department and I'm like, oh, this is going to be easy now. Compared to what I just went through, this is going to be a walk in the park. You lay on a table, get your blood pressure done, and you get this little medicine that makes your heart race. And then, you get to go have some caffeine and you get to do this. I thought this was going to be easy. And when I said to the technician, oh, this is the easy part, she's like, yeah. She kind of looked at me like, yeah. Like she's thinking, what? Like she's totally lying. So here I'm like, I'm laying on the table, I'm getting my blood pressure done. And they put some saline in my intravenous, whatever. And, you know, that's not a problem. I can taste it. And I was like, oh, I can taste it. She's like, oh, sensitive people can taste it. And I was like, yeah, I can taste it. Whatever, no big deal. So I have that in, and then she goes, okay, we're going to put this medication. It is the biggest tube. It's like this thick, huge point on it. And she's going to put it in my IV. And I was like, what the hell? Is she going to like bang all that in? Because it makes your heart race and like your exercise and stuff. You have to do some exercises for 4 minutes straight. You can't stop exercising at the same time that this stuff is going in for 4 minutes. And so, they're like, oh, tell me if you feel anything. I'm like, oh yeah, I've got like severe pain in my left side of my head, or my heart is racing, or I feel super tired. I felt a bit nauseous. I had chest pain. I was super dizzy, like stuff like this. So every time you have a symptom, you have to let them know as you're going along. So I was doing this and everything was okay. And then at the end, they gave you like a caffeine thing to reverse the effects that you're having because you're super dizzy. I didn't feel too well. I felt kind of weird. They reverse this with the caffeine, so it's fine. They tell you to go now and get more caffeine, and it's going to reverse it even more. But when I got up, and they take your blood pressure, and they have an EKG on you the entire time and everything. And when I got up, I was not feeling good. I was like, oh my God, I'm so dizzy. I feel so weird. And I was kind of like, slurring a little bit. Like I was just like, ugh, like I just didn't feel good. And then I go to get my tea and I was like, okay, this is good. I get to have caffeine at least. And I was telling the lady, like, put tons of cream in it and like give me banana bread and like give me butter, like, because you have to eat another fatty snack. So I was feeling to vomit and I was feeling so sick, and I was trying to get the tea down me, the water down me, and the banana bread with me. There's no way I could have done the butter. I would have puked. I could barely get the banana bread. And I was like, oh my God, you're on this time frame where you've got like literally 10 minutes to eat this. And oh yeah. So I forgot to tell you. So on the last part, she's like, oh, after my picture, she's like, you're going to go to cardiopulmonary and get all this testing done. Then you're going to go like eat a fatty snack. And then you're going to come back for more pictures. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to do this again. And she's like, yeah, but we're not going to put the head in. We're just going to put the big part of the body. But still, I was like, oh my God, I have to go in here again. And so I barely got the banana bread down. I am talking to the minute that I got back to my CT scan, or sorry, my mibi test, because I was honestly like just on time. And I barely got that food in me. Oh my God, but I did. And the medicine that they injected in me made me feel so sick, so ill for ages and ages after. Suppressed my appetite like so much. I could barely get anything. You put something in your mouth and your body just wants to spit it out. And then they're telling you got to eat all this and you got to eat fatty foods, which make me not feel well anyways. But I did it, and I went back and I got my test done for 10 minutes. It was only 10 minutes this time. And I finished my exam and it's all done now. So that's good. Yay. I'm proud of myself for doing that and getting through it all. It was a very difficult test, very hard test, 5 hours. It's a 5 hours test. You're there 5 hours and at the Richmond General Hospital. And you know what? Oh, sorry. My phone keeps falling. Okay, so like, can you see this big? Oh my God. This just came out. That must be from the medicine because I was peeing so much after, like trying to get, I think my body was like, it's trying to get out of my system. But it was 5 hours. And you know what? I'm so proud like that I did that and everything. But I would never get that done again. Like I would never want to do this again. And you know what? They're probably going to find out something like it's going to give me more results like where's the blockage and what is it? I might have to have an angiogram after this because if they do find something, then they might have to do even more testing on it. Oh, God. Then I have to go for my MRI for tumors. That's another situation. Been sick for a year, really, really bad. And thank God I grabbed this all when I first got sick and dealt with it because I can't imagine trying to start right now and it taking a year because everything takes so long and I don't know, I could be dead. I could have a heart attack or a stroke or a pulmonary embolism or an aneurysm or a heart attack or cancer to a different stage. So I honestly am very thankful that my body tells me and gives me warning and that I listen to my body and adjust it and push the doctors, and that's what I've done. So hopefully we find out in a week the results. I'll let you know the results in a week, what exactly it is. For the tumors, I do have 3 on my liver, 1 on my pancreas, 1 on my spleen. The one on my spleen's benign, but the other 4 we don't know. They're not obviously benign, so we have to. I have an MRI coming up, I think in March. It's February 11th today, by the way, and in March, I get an MRI. I get to go into another machine, which I really don't like. The MRI, it's really scary too, but I have to deal that too. I've got a trial in February where I get to go lay in it and check it out for claustrophobia and just see how it is. And then in March, I go for my tumor test to see, if they've grown, because from the first CAT scan, they were just like 1 nodule on my liver and a white fuzzy patch on my pancreas. Okay, and on my second CAT scan, which was actually 3 months later, my 1 nodule on my liver turned into 3 tumors, which I call now a mass. My white fuzzy patch on my pancreas turned into 1 tumor, so that's 4, and then I had a tumor on my spleen, which is 5. But that's benign, definitely benign. So we also have to find out about that, which I will find out in March with an MRI, and we'll go from there. So there's a lot of things to find out, but I think we're going to get answers. So thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time on a video. Peace out. Bye.